Okay, let's dive into this. We've got some really interesting source material from you, our listeners, and it starts kind of unexpectedly during a grocery run, of all things.
Exactly. Yeah, you imagine just, picking up your usual stuff, maybe some salad greens, and then bam, the source describes seeing something totally out of place. Pansies. Bright, colorful pansies.
Pansies, you mean like the ones you plant in your garden, the sort of yellowy purple flowers. That's the visual, right? Usually next to things like petunias.
Uh-huh. But the source says they weren't in the flower section. That's the key. They were apparently part of this, aquaponic farm display, right there with the food.
Oh, okay. So that's the context that shifts things. It's not just about pretty flowers anymore.
Precisely. And according to the source, that's the light bulb moment. These aren't just for looking at. The source is clear. These pansies, and actually lots of flowers, turn out to be edible.
Which is, well, it seems simple when you say it, but the source really frames it as this big surprise.
Yeah.
It kind of challenges how we just assume flowers are only decorative.
It does. Makes you think about how we categorize plants, doesn't it? Based on what we think they're for.
Totally. And the source goes further than just saying edible. It talks about how they're used.
Right, not in a vase. The source mentions them mostly as a garnish.
A garnish.
Yeah, like on salads, maybe desserts, cakes, adding that little pop of color, even in drinks sometimes. It shows a specific sort of practical use, moving beyond just the idea they can be eaten.
Okay, so that leads to the big question, which the source also gets into. What do they actually taste like?
Well, here's the thing. The author admits they hadn't actually eaten one yet when writing this, but they did share what they'd read about the flavor.
And what was that? What did the reading suggest?
Apparently, based on what the source author found, the taste is described as, well, pretty subtle, kind of fresh. The comparison given was, maybe surprisingly, lettuce or mint.
Lettuce or mint for a pansy. Huh. That's really not what I would have guessed. You think of that delicate look, maybe something super sweet, but lettuce suggests more, I don't know, green, earthy.
Exactly. Maybe with a slight sweetness. Based on those descriptions the source looked up, it really shows you can't just judge a plant by its looks.
Definitely not. And that connects back to the source's wider point, right? That this line between pretty plant and food plant is, well, blurrier than we think.
Mm-hmm. The pansy is just a great example because it's so familiar looking. Most people recognize it. So finding out it's edible, as the source points out, kind of hits home more.
Okay, so wrapping this part up then, the key takeaway from this source finding is really that pansies, yeah, those common garden flowers are identified as edible, often used as a garnish, adding visual flair.
And the taste, based on what the source author read, is described as slightly sweet, fresh, maybe like lettuce or mint.
Which is fascinating in itself.
But the bigger picture, as the source highlights, is what this represents. It's a reminder, isn't it, that maybe there are edible things all around us that we just overlook.
Right.
You've already decided what they're for.
It absolutely makes you look at your garden, or even the park, a bit differently, doesn't it? This whole deep dive, starting from that one source, really prompts a question. What else? What other things that we just see as decorative might actually have this whole other edible side we're missing?
Yeah, the source author sort of finishes by saying the pansy is just one species worth looking into more.
And that feels like an invitation, really, to look closer at the plants around us with maybe fresh eyes. Definitely gives you something new to chew on.